What's up, guys? Ricky here with another review of the new Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat X Goro. So I've never bought a Storm Collectibles before. This is the first time. I saw it when it first came out and thought, you know what? I have all the McFarlane Mortal Kombat lines, so that might be kind of cool. However, it was a little expensive. Pre-order sold out on some stuff, so I decided not to. And then I saw it on Big Bad Toy Store on a discount and thought, well, why not? So pretty expensive still. I spent, what is it, about $100 on it. But Storm Collectibles are expensive, so this is the first one. So here we go. So we got extra head. Looks good. The skin tone on this looks really good. Actually, it's kind of hard to see in the package because they have that plastic covering over it. But it looks like good skin tones, cool necklace. Got some cool, very neat details there. Get some dry brushing on the fur that looks nice. Looks really good. Articulation looks nice too. Okay, you got an extra face there, a yelling face. So some extra hands. More extra hands, and I don't know what else comes in the package, but we'll find out. So excited to open this up and see what it's like. However, I don't think I'm going to collect more Storm Collectibles because they're super pricey, but we'll see. Let me know if you really like Storm Collectibles in the comments. Here's the back of the package. Very cool looking there. Okay. Here is the bio. If you want to read it, pause your screen now. Then we have some product images, so interchangeable head sculpts. All look good. I'll probably keep the main one on there, but we'll see once we put it on. Okay, cool poses. Looks good. Yeah, looks really nice. Okay, cool. So here's the other side of the package. We have him obviously posed there. So let's open this up and see what we are looking at. Okay, here is Goro out of the package, and this thing is outstanding. So the level of detail, articulation, everything is phenomenal. I don't know why there are a million hands. I'll talk about that in a second. I do have one gripe, and I'm not sure if I like it or I dislike it. I'll talk about that in a second. But let's take a closer look here. So one, the paint applications are phenomenal. So you can see the scaling there. They did a brown paint over top of the scales, which looks good. You have this really cool flesh tone that actually has differentiation in it. So it's like, it's a beige color, but it looks like they might have airbrushed some of the muscle spots to make them a little bit darker tone, which really accentuates the muscles. Looks really, really good. Then you have the hair. Let's go to the hair real quick. So they did a black with a brown dry brushed over the top. So you can see it kind of looks pretty good there. So it really shows off the details. They pop. The face they did a phenomenal job on. Even there, they even more accentuate the different skin tones. But they look really good. You have the belt here that looks nice. So they did a gray with a white dry brushed over the top to really show off the fur. You have the silver highlighting. You have like a maroonish, brownish color over the sash too that they paint on, which looks good. Little silver piece there, which actually would benefit from a little black wash. It would show off a little more of the details. Not a big gripe though. You have the little buttons there, painted copper. You have this red sash with a lot of cool texture detail on it. It looks like they did do a little wash on it to bring out the details. And look at the stitching there. That looks nice. Really nice. So it looks like they did a little different tones on that as well. So they did on the front too. So looks like they did a black with a brown dry brushed over it with a lighter color to cover up the stitches a little bit. It looks good. Then you have the hands that have gold touch-ups. Right, looks really good there. You have this kind of matches the gauntlets here at the bottom. Really cool brown tones. And one thing they did too is they took a metallic color, looks like maybe a silver. They might have just done a beige, and they barely put it on the paintbrush, and they brushed over the top so you can see those textures there. I like doing that a lot in my customizations. It's an easy thing to do, but it really brings out some extra detail that's kind of hidden, so you can see it right there, right? So it's red, but they did just that little tiny hint of paint that just really looks nice. Yeah, I'm pretty blown away with this. I like it a lot. It did come with, let's see, 16 hands. Yeah, 16, or is that right? Yeah, that's crazy. 16 hands. So I don't know. I want to know. Tell me in the comments what you think about extra hands. So for me, I don't care about extra hands that much. You have 4 for each one, so they are a little bit different. So the big hands, they're slightly bigger than the ones on the top, and they have the little strap around the front. The other ones are a little smaller, and they go around there. Yeah, do you guys all use those? So what happens with me is I get them, and I just end up putting them in a box. I don't do anything with the hands. I usually put on like 1 or 2, just different ones, and I just display them like that and keep them. Like I think fist hands are fine. Maybe fist and open. I don't know why we need all these differentiating ones. I think I would have preferred like some of the accessory stuff to do with it, like a skeleton or maybe some torn off arms or just something random. I think that just would have been a little bit cooler than just a whole bunch of hands, because those are going to end up in a box. And then you have 2 different face sculpts to go with the OG. So you have one where he's yelling, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm glad they give you extra heads for that. So one thing that is kind of a bummer about some of the other ones, some of the other lines, like Marvel Select usually does pretty good where they usually do bonus heads, but they don't always. And sometimes, like if they just do like a yelling face and a plain face, it would just make it so much better. Here we go. So you have the red eyes. They look really nice. Got black around them and black on the inside. Did a good job with the teeth tones there. So basically what they did is they have that beige color or whatever it is that's regular mouth, dry brushed white over the top. You have red that they did there for the tongue. And the mouth. The mouth they could have, I guess when it's like this, you're not going to see inside. They could have darkened it a little bit. Make it look a little bit more hollow. But overall that looks good. So you have that head there. I think I might pose it with this one sometimes. I thought I was going to do it with just the normal blank face, like the one that's on it. But I think, because that looks really good, like that, I might do it that one. But I think I like this one. It's kind of in between both. I think it just looks really menacing with him showing his teeth a little bit. But yeah, they look really nice. Okay, so what we'll do, so I'll get into the articulation next and really kind of break down the great stuff about it, and then some of the gripes that I have that I'm really curious about, what you all think of it too. But yeah, let's get into that articulation. Although I don't know, that one's sweet. So you put the face on like that, you can get in this yelling pose. It looks really good. Look at that. So I guess we weren't going to jump right into articulation. Okay, so it looks nice. So that's what I love. This articulation is sick. Okay, so yep, so you can put the roaring head on. Looks really good when he's got his hands raised, like he just defeated an opponent, maybe a fatality. Pretty sick. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, let's put on the other head real quick. Okay, here's the other head, and I don't know. This is the one I thought I would like the most on him, and I think I might like it the least. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's a pretty fitting pose for that face. Yeah, it's funny. I thought I would like that one the best, and I thought the yelling one I would use the least, but after putting them on, I kind of like the yelling one a lot. But yeah, but here's the face. Looks fine. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It looks good. I'm just, you'll have to mess around a little bit and see. And there's a few things I want to highlight too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the head off. So the heads get off and on very easily. The hands do too. Yeah, before I get into articulation, I want to try something. Okay, so I didn't want to tear the material, but I just want to let you know, so this is not plastic. I thought it was going to be plastic. It's like a rubber material, and I wasn't sure if I liked it or not, so this is my gripe. It looks phenomenal, though, but it's weird because the rest is solid, but this is not. It's a cover, but if you want to look what the inner workings look like, I was going to take it off completely, but I don't want to stretch it out and tear it up because that would not be good. This is what it looks like. So you have this plastic piece. You can see how the articulation is in there. Very interesting. So you can see very, very interesting joints. But yeah, what's weird is like when you mess with it, which I'll show you in just a second, it can kind of get scrunched up. So yeah, so it looks good. Like I said, it looks great here, but like there's certain motions, like when you do this, it kind of opens up a big gap there, and if you push both together, the arms together, you get this really big gap, which I think is a little interesting. So I think you can hide it, but I wouldn't recommend putting it in this crunching position there. But maybe like the shadow hides it pretty good, I think. But just because it is like a rubber material, it does bend a little interestingly though. But it's a gripe for now, but I'm not like too disappointed with it because it looks great and it creates a really good space where I guess you can do extra posing that maybe you couldn't do before. Put in the comments if other Storm Collectibles are like that. I'm just unfamiliar with this line. But that's just one thing I wanted to share real quick with it. Okay, so here's the articulation. So the head can look up about that far. So it looks up pretty good. Looks down about that far. You can get a nice rotation. And they pop off pretty easily. You can get the arms. They go up past 90 degrees, which is phenomenal. You rarely see that out of toy lines. Nice bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. You do have wrist articulation as well, which is nice. And you do have this rotation here. You can hear it click, so you can kind of get that rotating from side to side as well. Then you have this shoulder articulation. This is like what also McFarlane does, which I think is pretty nice. I like that. Don't mind the shoulder articulation at all. You can also get a nice little rotation. So if you lift it up, do that. The only thing is if you lift up too high, you can see the joints exposed there. Not sure if you want that or not. You have nice articulation here. You can bend forward about that far, bend back about that far, side to side, rotation, which is nice. Legs go up almost completely in the splits, which is sweet. You do have legs up about 90 degrees. You do have double jointed knees, which are nice and get good articulation there. You do have toe articulation and ankle articulation. You do have a pivot, but it's really kind of stuck and it's hard to mess with. So I've figured it out, but it took a little bit. I didn't want to force it. And then you do also get a thigh rotation there as well, which is nice. So overall articulation, I'd say, is solid. I'd say the only issues I had were, like I said, the ankle articulation, the pivot, but once you get it, it's fine, and it's pretty stiff, which is good. And then the articulation I showed you with this is kind of a little weird, but I think overall, I think it looks nice. You just got to be careful with some of the poses that you do. Okay, let's get into size comparison. Okay, here we go with a quick size comparison. I will apologize now. I lost my measuring tool. I don't know if my daughter used it for crafts or what, but not going to do that for you right now. So what we have Goro in the middle, and you can tell he stands a little bit taller than everyone else, which is pretty cool. So it's a good size there, because it's supposed to be 1/12, but it definitely seems like it could be on the 7-inch scale, which is what I collect. So if you look at to the right of him is the 7-inch McFarlane Sub-Zero. To the far right, you have the McFarlane DC Bane figure. To the left, you have Shao Kahn McFarlane figure, which I think the size is not bad there too. And then on the far left, you have the Hulk from Marvel Select, which is also a 7-inch scale line, which stands about the same height, but Goro stands a slightly taller. So overall, I think it fits really good. So that's why I got it, because I collect 7-inch scale. But I wanted a Goro figure, and they never made one for that line. So I wanted to get one, and I think it fits in perfectly. So I would say height is probably somewhere around 9 inches or so, because I believe that's what the Hulk is as far as height goes. But yeah, so size looks great. Now let's get into final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts on Goro from Mortal Kombat X Storm Collectibles. I love this figure. Really happy with it. I think the detail, the paint, the articulation, everything about this is super, super solid. Said the only gripe I had was the top piece there. That's the rubber plastic, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. And if it helps out the articulation, I mean, it looks phenomenal. It's great. Now, the only problem that I have with this figure is just the price point. So I get it. It's a collector's figure, but I'm comparing to McFarlane. This is a $20 action figure, and when I see this, I mean, I'm not going to purchase a bunch of them. $100. I think it was on sale for $100 or $105. In my opinion, this seems like it should be $60, maybe. in my opinion. Now, if you have the money to do it, like I did a little bit extra, so that's why I was willing to try it and see, and I just really wanted it for my collection. So if you're into Storm Collectibles, it's a great buy. If it's something that you want to try out, I mean, this is one of the best ones that I've seen so far as the looks. Looks nice. But just for your average collector, I'd say it's, if you feel like spending it, go for it, because it is an awesome figure. But yeah, it is a little bit pricey. But overall, excellent figure, so super stoked with it. So yeah, awesome. Well, thank y'all so much. I appreciate you tuning in. Like, subscribe, and I'll keep bringing customizations, reviews, etc. to you all. And I will catch you all in the next video.